When a bit of uranium and a single neutron collide, they undergo a process that creates massive amounts of energy. This process, called nuclear fission, is a form of radioactive decay, similar to alpha particle emission, beta particle emission, and positron emission. However, unlike these examples, nuclear fission produces destructive amounts of energy. In the past, the amount of energy produced by nuclear fission has been used as a means for war. On August 6 of 1945, the United States dropped the first uranium bomb named Little Boy on the unsuspecting city of Hiroshima. This atom bomb used uranium-235 to produce both tons of energy and nuclear waste. To trigger the nuclear reaction, the bomb used a gun-type starter. A conventional explosion was used to shoot a bit of uranium-235 into another bit of uranium-235. These two chunks collided, gaining critical mass. Neutrons were then shot into the critical uranium-235 to start the nuclear fission process. The nuclear reaction caused by the impact of the neutron and unstable uranium-235 produced krypton-95 and barium-139, which are both radioactive material and dangerous to human tissue. Along with the radioactive material, the reaction produced two extra neutrons that would go and trigger more reactions with other uranium particles. Each reaction of nuclear fission produced a massive amount of energy. This energy combined to create the massive explosion that vaporized everything in ground zero. Although the initial effects of the blast were devastating, the radiation that followed the blast proved to have more notable effects. When in contact with radiation, your cells get damaged by having their bonds broken. In response to this, your cells can have three different outcomes: repaired cells, altered cells, or dead cells. Repaired cells continue with their normal functions. Altered cells have an increased risk of being cancerous due to their changed DNA. Dead cells have little threat in small doses. However, in large amounts of radiation exposure, such as Hiroshima, they can cause brutal effects such as organ failure and ultimately death. To add insult to injury, the bomb left a lasting impact on Hiroshima and its future inhabitants. The blast created a radius full of radiation poisoning. The effect of this radiation was thought to last up to 75 years. This made the area a hotspot for radioactivity that gave people in the area many problems. Many of those who survived the initial blast were succumbed to harsh radiation poisoning and died in the next few days. The radiation also increased the amount of stillbirths, malformations, and neonatal deaths by 8%. The blast had lasting effects on everyone who was around it. Many people died from the blast, while others were basically tortured to death by the radiation poisoning. It would be a crime for us to put more people through this event.